What's going on, guys? China Sky here. In today's video, I want to talk about the next upcoming Battlefield game, which is planned to be dropping sometime in holiday season of 2016, which is basically the usual dates for Battlefield games. Now, recently, during an interview with the CEO of EA, Andrew Wilson, he basically confirmed that the next Battlefield game is set to launch in 2016. So in this video, I just want to go over some ideas that I have had for quite a while now for a future Battlefield title, like what theme it could be, and also some cool interesting gameplay ideas. But first, before we even talk about that, let's talk briefly about which one of EA's studios is actually developing this AAA title shooter. So personally, I think this game might actually be made by DICE LA themselves and not Visceral Games or DICE Sweden. See, by then, Visceral would just have finished Hardline, and depending on how that game does, they may or may not continue to produce more Battlefield games in the future, and I don't believe Visceral actually has that big of a team compared to DICE, so I would guess Visceral is not going to be doing a game in 2016. But just like Visceral Games, DICE Sweden would just have finished Battlefront 3 about a year ago, so unless they have multiple teams working on different games at the same time, I just don't think they would have the time and resources to turn around with another game in just under a year and make it really fun and innovative. But as for the theme of this Battlefield game, there are so many possibilities of what DICE can choose. They could be returning to the Bad Company series with a Bad Company 3, or even return to their roots and make a World War II Battlefield game, and maybe, just maybe, even a full Vietnam Battlefield and not just a DLC pack. But I don't think it will be a 2142 or 2143 game, because we would have just gotten Battlefront 3, which is a futuristic type of shooter, and I don't think DICE would want to repeat the same theme in just less than a year. So if you take a look around the internet, you will see that most people seems to want a Bad Company 3 or a return to a World War II game. Personally, I would love a Battlefield 1944. It would definitely switch up the modern shooters which we have been getting from every single studio for the past 5 to 10 years now. But just think of the insane large-scale battles we would have in a new Frostbite engine, maybe with even 128 players. I mean, just think of D-Day in the game mode Rush. The American team would somehow deploy in large scale from carriers, landing crafts, and there will be air cover and air support. Then the Germans would be heavily planted in their bunkers with machine guns, and the Allies or the Americans would have to take out these bunkers or objectives. There are just so many possibilities of what DICE can do with a World War II shooters nowadays. Studios out there seems to not like to do older shooters anymore, and I feel like they're kind of in love with the whole futuristic genre. So it just really depends on how much time and resources they really want to spend. Now with a Battlefield 2143, it would be really nice to see a true return of Titan mode from Battlefield 2142 with the exact same mechanics, but basically with upgraded gameplay and graphics. The carrier assault mode in Battlefield 4 to me was not exactly the same, but I think DICE tried their best to implement Titan mode basically into a modern setting. But again, I think Battlefield 2143 is the least likely to happen because we would have gotten Battlefront, and again, DICE just don't want to probably do another futuristic game. Then with Battlefield Vietnam, they could completely start a new series and base it around the Vietnam War. They can add a cool, interesting storyline similar to the Bad Company series, but similar to 2143, I think this idea for this game is least likely to happen because DICE probably does not have the time to completely create new settings and worlds. And lastly, Bad Company 3. DICE can finally give the fans what they actually truly want, to return to their old ways of the Bad Company series and design maps which are more suited for Rush, because to be honest, Battlefield 4 was completely a letdown for the Rush game mode at least, but one of the most important things that the Bad Company series did right was the campaign. I just think what a lot of Battlefield players miss is a funny and relaxed single player campaign to take away from the insane hardcore multiplayer aspect of the game, and I think a Bad Company Theory would be a very good choice for DICE to do. But for now, these are just some of my ideas. I think DICE should just focus a lot less on making so many different guns and attachments and just focus on working on the core gameplay balancing, which I think Visceral Games is trying very hard to do right now with Battlefield Hardline, and I'm starting to look more forward to that game. It's just annoying when new weapons come out in a DLC or something, their stats are so similar to a weapon that's already in the game. To me, it seems almost pointless that DICE would waste their time reskinning old guns and barely changing their stats. When a new weapon is introduced into the game, I think there should be at least one outstanding attribute of the weapon that makes it so special in the category and it can differentiate itself. So what do you guys think? What would you like to see for the next Battlefield game? What are some features you would like to see come true? Leave some thoughts down below in the comments. I would love to get a discussion going on. Thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.